First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rokakwadash. Yahweh to this world ignorantly caused God. Yahweh Shai to this world ignorantly caused Jesus. Bahashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. That's all in the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And today's video, I wanted to go into how don't let the world distract you. Okay, and the reason I make this video is because that's essentially what the job of Satan is to do, is to distract you and steer you away from the righteous path. Now, how does he do that? Well, he has the world, to help him. He has the world to take care of that. And a major way where we see that today, I give a perfect example, which is what they used to do in ancient Rome, which was the bread and circus. All right, let's actually do a little research real quick. Let's hit the little chat. And let's ask chat, what was the purpose of bread and circus in Rome? The phrase bread and circuses, Latin panem and circenses, comes from the Roman poet Juvenal, who used it to criticize how Roman rulers kept the people content and distracted from political or societal issues. Right, and that was the point is, they would throw, as it says, the emperor and politicians use free grain, bread, and entertainment, circuses, gladiator games, chariot races, theater, to keep the Roman masses docile and distracted. By giving people food and fun, rulers ensured that citizens wouldn't focus on corruption, injustice, or the decline of civic virtue. And it was a form of social pacification. As long as people were fed and entertained, they wouldn't revolt or demand reform. And that same concept is here today. It's just that instead of gladiator fights and chariot races, it's your NBA playoffs, your basketball season, your football season, your baseball season, your hockey season. Right? You find that as soon as one ends, the next one starts. And that's what the people are in. The people are distracted, stuck on sports, stuck on the next celebrity, stuck on the next restaurant, always talking about women or men, in the clubs. That's all people are focused on. But why? What is the purpose of the elites or Satan doing that? The purpose is to keep people distracted from focusing on the Lord. Okay, that's what it goes back to is, hey, if you distract people from the righteous path, hey, they're going to be on the wicked path, just by process of elimination. So that's why the scriptures say that, hey, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. And this is one of his devices right here. And, speaking on this, one of his other devices is that literal device, that phone. Okay, the phone is the biggest distraction that we have today. Okay, 24/7, yeah, notifications going off. Okay, your phone is made to be addictive, right? They literally hire people that have studied psychology to see how to make the games more addictive and the apps more stimulating. That's why you open up your phone and it looks like you just open up the casino doors. All types of colors jumping at you, trying to get you to stay on the phone. Because you being distracted on the phone ultimately makes those companies money, right? Off of ad revenue and whatever streams that they're, implementing. So you see how whatever way you slice it, it all goes back to attention. Okay, attention is the currency of this world. And ultimately that attention is to keep you away from the Lord. So let's hit the scriptures. Let's start at verse Luke chapter 22 and verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Right, and that's what I'm doing by this video. Is I'm strengthening anybody that hears this video that, hey, you gotta lock in. Right, you gotta stop being, wasting your day away wasting your time, just rotting away on entertainment. A may I'm gonna bring that back because there's a time and place for everything. There's nothing wrong with watching a movie or entertainment, but the problem comes when you're putting those things above your priorities. Right? The problem comes when you decide to watch UFC. You decide to watch a Netflix movie instead of a focusing on the Lord. Doing your reading. That's when the problem arises. Because as Solomon said, hey, there is a season for everything. Nothing wrong with watching a movie. I gotta throw in the balance in there. But it says that Satan had the desire to sift you. Right? Talking to Peter, and that's the real. It's the reality of this world is that Satan, the devil, the elites. Right? The elites are controlled through Satan. They're trying to distract you from focusing on the Lord. And you have to always keep that in the back of your mind is you got to always think to yourself in every single moment of the day, am I conscious? Am I focused on what I have to do? Am I being distracted? Because if you don't ask those questions, you would just be like the masses of people, going by the motion, the flow, being told what to believe and just being lost in the sauce because they never have that moment of self-reflection of am I focused? Am I being distracted right now? If you never ask yourself that, how are you going to ever self-realize? So, this is something very important that, I make this video because I found myself being in those cycles of just doom scrolling, watching shorts, and next thing you know, an hour has passed by and you just did nothing. Right? That was literally an hour that you could have been focused on reading or focused on doing the work. Hey, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is making these days shorter and shorter. I bet anybody that hears this video can relate that the days that we go through today are not the same as what they felt like 20 years ago. When you were younger, you felt like the day went on forever. But nowadays, you blink your eyes, and it's already 10 p.m. So let's get this in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 32. He says, "But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife." Right, and verse 34, the contrast. There's difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. Now, why do I bring this up? I bring this up because it's the same concept, right? Distractions, right? Your wife, you may love her, but guess what? She's a distraction, and not all distractions are bad, but you have to realize that she's a distraction, and you can't let your woman, your husband, get in front of a focusing on the Lord. You always gotta put the Lord first, which when it comes to the woman, the woman's husband is her Lord, so actually putting him first is her priority. But you know what I'm trying to say, that you got to make sure that you have that balance. And that's why it says that to whom much is given, much is required. Because the more material things you have, the stronger your spirit has to be able to juggle all those things and still be focused on doing what you have to do. Hey, that's a heavy burden. That's a great responsibility. Even King Solomon said that, hey, don't give me too much and don't give me too little. Just give me enough. Now, why did he say that? He said that because he said, let me get the scripture. King Solomon, give me enough. Proverbs 30 and 8. Let's get it. It says, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. Now, why do I bring this up? The reason is because if you have too much material things, you're rich, that flesh is going to be strong. It's going to be stronger than what you think. And even Solomon, with all his wisdom, said, "A lest I be full and deny thee, saying, Who is the Lord?" Right? That right there shows you that the flesh overtook the spirit. But why? Because he had those riches. And to whom much is given, much is required. So you might be asking the Lord for money. You might be asking the Lord for a woman. You might be asking the Lord for all these things. But if he were to give you those things and those things would distract you from him, he's not going to give it to you. It would literally destroy you. So always remember that when you ask for something, you got to be in the position ready to accept those blessings. Now let's get this in Luke or Matthew, Mark. Mark chapter 4, verse 19, going to the parable of the sower. It says, "In the cares of this world," I'll start at verse 18, "and these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful." Right, so this is a situation that somebody that heard the word, it comes to nothing. But it comes to nothing because the cares of this world, okay, the lusts, the life, distracts them from the word, and they don't water that seed. They don't give any power, any energy into that seed, and ultimately it becomes unfruitful. So you got to make sure that every single day you're watering that seed so it can grow properly. You got to have that balance. And having that balance comes with Matthew 6:22. "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." Right? So your eye has to be single. It has to be focused on one thing at all times. Or else you're going to get off the path and ultimately be destroyed. So hopefully it was edifying and brings you into the right mindset. It makes you realize you be more self-reflective as to what am I doing? Am I focused? Have I done what I have to do today? Am I being distracted? And these are questions we got to ask ourselves on a daily basis. But like I said, hopefully it is edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to your elect. Shalom.